Good evening. My name is Kelly Powers, and I am the Senior Guidance Counselor here at Daviess County High School, and I'm here today to share with you some things that I hope that you'll find helpful for your senior student as you're navigating through this last year of high school and at the same time planning for your student's future after high school. A lot of parents are calling and students are visiting my office early on asking, what do I do? How do I start? And so I'm going to go through just some tips and kind of a guideline of order of operations that I would think might best suit your student and help them be successful in the next step. First, I would encourage you, if your student doesn't know yet where they would like to attend, to start with campus visits. This is a great time to visit because campuses are back in session now. Our students are allowed 3 campus visits per year, so they can take a day off school and go visit and talk with admissions reps there to find out if their major's offered, what kind of financial aid or scholarships your child might be eligible for. That's a great way to personalize a tour during the school day. For that, you need advance permission, and you get that from Mr. Blue in the front office, and he likes to have that 3 days prior to the day you plan to visit. And then Ms. Judd will want you to have some sort of documentation from the school stating that you went on an official school tour. Also, it's time to go ahead and start applying. So once you know which schools your child is considering, go ahead and get online at those colleges and start the application process. With that, you'll quickly learn that there's an application fee for each college. We're finding that they're typically around $50. However, if your student happens to be on free or reduced lunch, please do not pay that fee and instead send them to see me in the guidance office, and I can provide a fee waiver for most colleges, which will waive that and make it free for your student to apply. In years past, OCTC has been free, so if that is where your student is planning to attend, you will probably not see a fee associated with that. In addition, colleges are quickly going to be asking for your student records or your transcript. You do that through Parchment. I have met with the senior class recently and told them about how to set up a Parchment account. They will find an email from our office just a few days ago. So if they haven't done that yet, tell them to check their student email, search Parchment, and then we'll see step by step how to set that up. And it really just takes a matter of minutes to get that set up. And from there, they tell their transcript where to go. So if they're applying to 4 different schools, then they just select those schools and it happens. Also, you may see a fee pop up. It should be free to our students their senior year. After high school, they will still use that Parchment account if they're sending their high school transcript somewhere, but there will be a fee associated with that. So it's good to take care of that now while it is free. Speaking of sending ACT scores, a lot of the larger colleges and universities are going to want to see ACT scores from ACT directly. While our students have ACT scores printed on their transcripts, that won't be enough for schools like UK, Murray, Western, Louisville, etc. However, we have found that smaller schools are taking the transcript that you send through Parchment. So if you get notification we don't have your ACT scores, what that means is your student is going to have to log into their ACT account online and select that school to send their score. Each time a student sits for a test, they have the option to choose 4 colleges to send those scores. So let's say that your student makes a late decision to head to UK, and all along they had never considered UK, so they never got an official score. You're going to have to log onto your account, and you'll actually have to pay a fee at this point to send your ACT score to UK. But that is the process for getting ACT scores to your college or university. Also, at this point, some students are going to be possibly, hopefully, competing for different scholarship competitions with their college. So when you do that, you're often going to see a letter of recommendation. I've commented this to students, and I'll share this with parents as well. Make sure that they are asking for that in plenty of advance, giving teachers, people in this building, lots of time to write a meaningful letter. And with that, they should submit some sort of resume to the teacher, because while a teacher can know your student in the classroom academically and comment on participation and attendance in class, knowing some of their outside activities, work history, maybe their involvement in athletics would also be beneficial to the student and make for a much better letter of recommendation. With that, also I would like to encourage you to help me in encouraging your child to always send thank you notes for that. So if teachers take time out to do those things, in addition to all the many tasks that they do every day, please encourage your student to always, always, always write thank you notes. In addition to letter of recommendation, if your child is competing for a scholarship of some sort, they will be asked to write an essay. I would encourage them to go ahead as soon as those become available, and some of them likely already are, to go ahead and draft an essay and then read it, proofread it for spelling and grammar mistakes. I encourage students to read it to themselves out loud to catch those things, and then have 2 others read it. So look for your former English teacher or a friend that is a great writer, or a parent, or all of the above, and then revise and then submit that essay. So let a couple of people look at that before you submit. Next step probably would come October 1st when FAFSA opens, and that is where you're going to receive financial aid. So FAFSA opens online, and you just go to FAFSA.gov on October 1, and that is where you are going to find out through this program how much it costs for your child to attend a college or university. So while there may be 4 students who are all applying to University of Louisville, the price tag on that may look different depending on family income, scholarships, etc. So you will get those letters, even though they open October 1, you probably won't expect to get the financial aid letters from your colleges until late spring. And so at that point, it's probably more likely when your child is actually making the decision of where they would attend. Speaking of financial aid, I want to say a few things about this, and it may be a review to some of you parents who have gone through this process before. But with that, you will compare those financial aid letters between different schools. If you have questions when you get those, which often parents do, and they call our office, that's not something that we are able to advise or help on too much. We encourage you to call the financial aid office at that particular school to ask about the details of your financial aid letters. Understand your loan options. Look at them closely, because they're going to say, here's how your kid can go to Murray State University. You as a parent can borrow this much money, your student can borrow this much money. So look at the student versus parent loan options. Financial aid is essentially money that you use to pay for college. So funds can come from different sources, including the U.S. federal government, the state government, the college itself, and nonprofit organizations and private organizations. Federal student aid includes grants. Grants is much like a scholarship. It's money given to you that you do not have to pay back. The only exception would be if you were to drop out mid-semester or make failing grades, then you may find that you have a bill for the money that they allowed you to go to school. So if it's not used effectively, that's the only time that I'm aware of that you would be asked to pay that back. In addition, there are loans, which obviously is borrowed money you must pay back with interest. And also you may see a work-study allotment on a financial aid letter, and that is essentially a work program through which you earn money to help pay for your school. So then the other big piece of money is going to come from scholarships potentially. And colleges provide the biggest amount of scholarships for your students. So when students are looking for that full ride, and I had this conversation with the seniors recently, or the big, $10,000 or paying my tuition, those come directly from the college. So those are your big ones. And I need you to know that deadlines are approaching quickly, and I don't want anyone to miss out. So if you're a student who has high academic, a great record, I guess I would say, a high GPA, a high ACT, and you can compete for those, you need to be very aware of the deadlines. Last year, UK, for example, was a December 1st deadline. So that's those letters of recommendation, the essay, and already being admitted to the college. So you can see why some of these things have to happen first. So you're visiting colleges, narrowing your choices, deciding where to apply, at the same time applying for scholarships to the college. So each campus handles that differently. Some just that the application itself takes care of it because they get your transcript, they look at your grades, they look at your ACT, and award you that. Others, it's a competition, and it depends kind of on how high up your ACT and GPA may go at each university, how that is handled. But be sure to check those out. I would have a calendar if I had a senior student right now, and just with deadlines throughout, like this is when the application is due, this is when the scholarship deadline is due, this is when we need to file our FAFSA, and then this is when we need to make a decision. You can also consider employers. Some of you may work at a place and you're aware of scholarships given to seniors. We see students benefit from that from time to time. Of course, churches, civic organizations, and veteran affairs. The scholarships that I'm aware of, sometimes students or parents will come in and say, tell me about scholarships, how to apply for scholarships. I quickly direct you back to the college and to the college website. Those are questions to ask your admissions office when you go on these tours. That's a good question to ask them about how do you apply, how do I know if I qualify for one, and they can guide you on that. But in addition to those, the civic organizations in our community often come across my desk, and so where can you find those and how can you stay in the know on that? And you can do that by simply following and checking our guidance webpage. So many of you likely already visit the school webpage from time to time to get information. In addition to that, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see guidance, a guidance tab. If you click on that, there's a drop down for scholarships, and there you will see all the scholarships that are available. If you're going there right now as I'm talking and you're watching this, you're gonna see nothing because there are not any available that have been that I've been made aware of at this point. Typically, what I saw last year is they come in after December. So we're talking second semester and really heavy probably through the month of February. But I would just maybe set an alert on my phone calendar to check it every week or two because there are frequently ones that come through. These are not gonna be your full ride type scholarships, but still you may see 1,000, 2,000, 500 here or there, and those can add up and take care of some of the college necessities as well. In addition, students will ask me about, what about that scholarship because I'm left-handed or I'm flat-footed or this. Those are national scholarships that you can search through national databases, and I have a couple to share with you. Capex.com, and that's CAPPEX.com, fastweb.com, and also Kia.com, which you may be associated with already with your Keys money if you're checking on your kids' account there. Kia, KHEAA.com also. So you might check for something specifically if your child knows they want to be a nurse, for example. So you might be able to filter out, going to major in nursing, I have a 3.0 and a 28 ACT, and then that would filter down, here's some that they might apply for. Realize when they're applying for those types, they're probably competing nationally, but every once in a while a student may get lucky and get one. So if you're looking for something right now, that might be another place to start searching. Eventually, in the spring, when you get all of the financial aid offers and you compare the different letters and decide what is the best fit for your child and your family, you're going to notify one school that you accept that offer. And if you've applied to 5 at that point, then you need to notify the other 4 schools that you have in fact decided to go elsewhere. And then from there, it's exciting. That's when you buy the shirt. So you are going to find out where and when is freshman orientation, and be aware that a lot of times students take care of this during their senior year. I can remember even when I went to school that I went to freshman orientation and scheduled my fall classes in March of my senior year. And so it's just like how you can imagine the first in line get the first choices. So it's good to go to an early orientation in order to get the best selection of college classes that might be available. So I recommend the earlier the better, but some will offer a few throughout the summer as well if needed. And then the next thing they're going to quickly be asking you for is a housing deposit. And again, you're more likely to get your first choice if you send that in sooner rather than later. So that kind of gets you in line. Last things I would like to share is just a few upcoming events to benefit your senior. One, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to see us. Mr. Pippin and I will be around all evening tonight during this college fair. We're happy to help, and otherwise we're just an email or a phone call away. Thank you for your time.
Hi everybody, my name is Trey Pippin. I'm the College and Career Readiness Coach here at Daviess County High School. I'm excited to share some information with you about college and how I can help your student in my role here at the school for next step planning for what comes next for them after high school. One of the things I really want to mention to you is that the transcripts that your students might have if they have taken advantage of any of our dual credit opportunities is that their transcripts from the high school do not include their dual credit official transcripts. Let me give you an example. Say your student has been taking a class through Owensboro Community and Technical College and they are applying to go to school at the University of Louisville. While those classes will show on our Daviess County High School transcript, their official transcript from the college must be sent to the school that they're applying to. Unfortunately, we can't take care of that for your student. They have to do it on their own. So they'll have to make sure that they go in and request an official transcript from their dual credit provider in order to have that sent to the school of their choice. Another thing I want to talk to you about in regards to our dual credit program is your student might be taking a dual credit course right now, or they might be taking one in the spring of their senior year. Don't forget that the Kentucky Dual Credit Scholarship is an opportunity that your student might have to have up to 2 of their classes paid for over the lifetime of their high school career. Now, I can't guarantee that money will be there, but I can tell you that it is an option, that there might be a possibility that their courses could be paid for. Remember, that Kentucky Dual Credit Scholarship can be found on KHEAA.com, KHEAA.com, and your student can apply for it if they've never used it before. Remember, just want to reiterate that they only get 2 over the course of their entire high school career. So if they used it last year, they won't have the availability to use it this year, but maybe they only used 1 last year, so they might have 1 left. So we want to make sure that we do our best to encourage our students to apply for the dual credit scholarship. They should be receiving an email from KHEAA. Also, they'll be hearing a lot of information from me on how to get that thing taken care of. It probably takes them about 20 seconds to get that thing submitted, and then hopefully it will result in having those dual credit courses paid for. We would love that. Also, one of the things that we provide here at Daviess County High School is the opportunity for your student to attend our Kids on Campus trips. Those are trips that we coordinate through the College and Career Readiness Center in partnership with some of our admissions partners at schools around the state. And what we get to do is we have the opportunity to take your students and put them on a college campus. So we'll be taking trips to Kentucky Wesleyan, we'll be taking trips to Louisville, Murray, UK, Western. I'm sure there's some that I've left out. But keep your eyes and ears open for information about those Kids on Campus trips. We love when students come. Every time we take a bus, we want that bus to be full, and oftentimes the buses are full. So make sure your students don't wait until the last minute to fill out their application to attend our Kids on Campus trips, because we want them to have the opportunity to take advantage of those trips. The last thing I want to mention is that students received in their email a senior survey recently. We also spoke about this during our senior advocate meeting. I want to really encourage you to encourage your student that if they have not taken that senior survey, which will probably take them about 2.5 minutes, it's really important that they do that. What that survey allows us to do is individualize our approach on how we can best serve your student. On the survey, they identify whether they're interested in going to a 4-year university, where they're interested in going to a 4-year university, whether they're interested in going to a 2-year technical program, or maybe they're just interested in going into the military, or they want to go straight into the career world. What that lets us do is be really focused in getting the right information to students that have expressed interest in certain schools, certain avenues, certain opportunities. So please, 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 if your student has not taken that senior survey, make sure they get on that as soon as possible. Just to reiterate what Ms. Power said, we are here to serve your students. We're here to serve you. We hope that you recognize that the doors are always open, whether that's through email, whether that's through phone calls, for us to be a service to you and your student in next step planning for whatever comes next for them after Daviess County High School, because we're all on the same team here. We want to make sure that they're prepared, and we want to make sure that they're ready when they launch off from here. So thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. Have a great evening. Have a great day whenever you're watching this, and go Panthers.